you can call this conspiracy or whatever. It's far out there if you're not, I guess, in the know, if you want to call it that, or what the hell's going on in the world. But I was in some interesting conversations with some coworkers today, and it got me thinking just about the future and the job that I have and who I'm working for, the perks that they give, stuff like that. And I'm going to try to keep this short. I'm driving again, as you can tell, so I'll have the rest of the show later, but this is a thought that I just had. But we work with, so where I work, up at Hill Air Force Base, we work with a lot of heavy, nasty chemicals that cause cancer. Lots of them do. Lots of them are, they're very, just straight up will cause cancer. Other ones are suspected to cause cancer or may cause cancer, whatever. And I know that food causes cancer. I get that. But a lot of these chemicals, a lot of these things have it on there. And that got me thinking down the rabbit hole of, okay, I'm working for the government. I don't believe the government has any of our best interests in mind whatsoever, period. I don't think they ever have. Maybe at one point they did, but right in my lifetime, I don't think they ever have. So I'm working for them. I'm a government employee. I get a lot of perks. I get a lot of benefits. I'm paid well. And something that I thought about was I get a good amount of retirement. I have a 5% matching for my savings plan. So if I put in their 5% of my check, they'll match that. So if I put in $200 every week or every check, they also will put in $200. So if you want to add that to the yearly compensation, that's an extra, what would that be? An extra $5,200 a year that I make. So if you want to look at it that way, so they give me all this money. I have a really good retirement plan. I have really good matching for retire. Yeah, okay. But I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, okay, so they encourage you to save for your retirement. They encourage you to put more money away now so that later you can have it. And they'll even match it, so it incentivizes you even more. And then we have this other thing, I can't remember what it's called, but it's another form of retirement plan. It's inaccessible. I can't change it. I don't even know how I would get that money if I wanted it. It's my money, so it's kind of frustrating. And they do all this now, but we work with so many harsh chemicals, and it's not just my little area, it's pretty much the whole base. I mean, we just work with aircraft. So there's a wasp trying to get in my car right now, dude. If he comes into the garage with me, I'm gonna throw hands. Whatever. Anyway, so we work with all these harsh chemicals, compounds, whatever. And we're also incentivized to put our money away so that we can have it later. And this is where it goes crazy deep, far into the conspiracy, but they're telling us to do that, but probably also planning on the fact that we won't be around to take the retirement and take all the extra that we saved and worked so hard for because we'll be dead, because of the cancer, because of whatever happened. So they incentivize you up front. They give you all these perks, benefits, and whatever, but plan on the majority of people not making it to the end of their career because of the work environment that we have, that we're in. So it's just something I was thinking about, and whatever you want to call it, I had that thought, and I was like, you know what? There's probably a lot of truth to that. I can't be the first person to have connected the dots on that one. And I sure as shit was not the first person to think about it as being a civilian or non-involved with the government or whatever. And when I think about it in that regard, my next thought that follows is I got to get the fuck out of here, I just don't like being around stuff like that. Also don't like the idea that my whole theory that I have might have some truth to it, Here, put. So, like, if you give away 5% of your check, it's $200 a check. That's $400 a month, ish, right? If you, what would that be? Hold on, am I doing the math wrong? I don't know. $400 a month. And you have the other retirement. So that's $200 total a month. I don't know how that works. $600 a month. $600 a month that you're just giving away. Some of us will see it at the end of our work time, whatever. Some of us won't. But, I don't like that whole idea. I think retirement's a good plan if you really just do not want to work after a certain age. And if you just plan on working a low-paying 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, it's probably a good call for you. But if you're listening to the show, chances are you have a shit ton of ambition. Especially a random episode 321. Chances are you probably want a different life. You have high ambition. You want to do some shit. And so I just think retirement's almost a scam at this point. Put all this money away now to get it back later. But there's no guarantee that I'll get it back later because I'm making a bet that I'm still going to be here in 40 years. And I believe that I will be here in 80 years. But I'd rather have that money now so that I can invest and do whatever I want to do with it now to benefit me now as opposed to in 40 years from today. So just a little spiel on that. It's pretty scary shit. And I just would like my money in my pocket because, whatever. So a little bit longer of an intro there, but that's the first topic of today. So I'll be back later with some more. That was my little conspiracy spiel. So anyway, let's transition to something else. So I do this thing where I'm in the middle of trying to do something and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's going to take too long. Or, no, I don't have time to do that right now. Or, oh, this is going to take too long. I have to do 30 more times of this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking super tiny things. And full transparency, it's things like, I don't want to clip my nails right now. It's going to take too long or whatever. Or today, for example, and this is what made me think of it, was I was fixing part of the, I don't know what you want to call it, one of the formatting issues in Google Sheets where I was trying to get numbers to look a certain way. And I don't know how to do certain things as far as automating or kind of autofilling certain cells. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. So I had to do everything manually one by one. And I had to do it 28 different times. And I was like, holy fuck, dude, I'm not doing this 28 times. And I've noticed that's a recurring thing for me. So the thing that helps me, and I'm sharing this because maybe it could help somebody else, is I will literally set a timer. I've got one right here. And I just click the thing. Oops, that's not the right button. I click the thing right here. And it's a timer. That's it. And it provides a visual for me for how long something takes. And that's the same idea as when I was making the workout programs and putting them into the software. I started setting a timer and then seeing how long it took me and then trying to beat that. And that it was a great tip, hack, whatever for me. And so today, rather than procrastinating and pushing the thing that I didn't want to do off and trying to find a different way or faster way, blah, 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 I just set a timer and just brute force my way through it. And this is so funny because it took me 4 minutes to do. 4 minutes. And I'm sitting here like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this. And then same thing with trimming my nails. It's so stupid. But I timed it. It took me 1 minute, 59 seconds to do both hands. Like, how stupid is that? And I don't know if that's my head just saying, no, we got to do this way or whatever. No, it's going to take too long. We got to be, I don't know. I don't know what that is. But when I set a timer, it's much easier for me to do the thing because it's almost, I say this all the time, but I'm gamifying everything or gamify, whatever the pronunciation is, where it's normal life and then I just make it a game where I have to try to beat my record and then I try to do faster next time and figure out, that's kind of how the gym is now. It's kind of how life is for me, and it allows me to stick to the shit better. So anyway, that's a little trick that I kind of taught myself. When I feel like something's going to take too long, I just set a timer and then see how long it takes me to do it. And then I prove to myself that no, dumbass, it did not take that long. And then for future reference, I have that knowledge of, oh yeah, I'm going to go and put this thing into Google Sheets. And last time I did it, it took me 3 minutes. So I just have to buckle up, do a whole bunch of clicking, and we'll get done in 3 minutes. Sounds so dumb, but that's just something that works for me and it's helped me quite a bit. So, dude, you know what sucks, man, is I spend all day at work, wake up at 4, go in at 5, I'm home I'm off work 2:15, and then if I go to the gym and come home, all that stuff, that leaves me about 4 o'clock. So that means I have from 4 to 8. I've talked about this a million times. But it sucks, man, because 4 to 8 is when I have the ability to devote my attention to texting friends and family, or reading something over here, or watching a YouTube video here, or working on my business here, or whatever it is. And I have 4 hours to, I guess, divide up into the things that I need to do. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is I only have 4 hours to work on my business. That's the thing that I want to do. But then all these other things come into play. It's like, holy fucking shit, dude. I just, like for example, my mom called me today. I love my mom to death. And I had to decline the call. I sent her a text and I was like, hey, I've got so much to do. I'd love to talk with you and have a meaningful conversation. But, I didn't say all this, but we've had conversations before. And because sometimes she'll call me out of the blue, and it's fine. I love my mom to death. Really is the greatest mom in the world. Don't know if you listen to these, Mom, but I love you. But sometimes I just can't afford to spend 2 hours on the phone, or an hour, or a half, And that goes for anybody, everybody. That goes with text messages. That goes with people when people send me memes or whatever, or on Instagram, or I'm all for a good meme, but I almost get annoyed when people send me shit. Anybody. Because I'm like, dude, okay, I guess I'll just stop for the next 30 seconds, my whole fucking life, to see what you think is so goddamn funny. 87% of the time, it's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I have a very different sense of humor, so half the shit I see, nobody else likes, and half the shit they see, I think is dumb. But whatever. So when I get a text or when I get phone calls or whatever, I'm just like, goddamn, bro, just leave me alone. Leave me alone for a minute. I spent all day at work. Now it's me time. Let me have me time, But it doesn't really translate that way. People don't know that. It's fine. I get it. But it's just frustrating sometimes, man. When I get texts, I feel like I'm obligated to respond soon because I would want someone to do that for me. I'm trying to let go of that, If somebody texts me, I would want them to understand that I've got shit going on, and then I'll get back, in that I will get back to them when I get back to them. And if I don't respond for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, it's nothing personal. It's just I got shit going on. But I don't know if people quite understand that, generally speaking. But then also, I just want to be better and respond as soon as I can to give them, I don't know, I just want to be considerate. If somebody texts me, I want to respond as soon as I can. But then I don't even do that. I leave people hanging, So I don't know. It's one of those double-edged things for me, I guess. I don't know. But I only have so much time after work, and it's like, goddamn, I just don't talk to me for the next 20 years. Let me get my shit going, and then we can go get a coffee if you want, That's how I feel. I'm not even doing anything yet, dude. I'm just whatever. I'm gonna save this one for later because it's very, very light. But is that it? Okay, I guess I don't got that much to talk about today. So today what I worked on was trying to make this client check-in, which is a form that I will then record a Loom video for them and go over their progress for the week. I think I've talked about this before, but because training is done now and the programs are in there and they're periodized and they're scheduled and they're on the calendar, because that's done, I need to focus on the nutrition aspect, the nutrition side of things, and get that rolling. And I don't have as much structure for that as I do the training, because training is, I would say, it's very black and white. You do these many sets, these many reps, this exercise, rest. And then we're going to do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. With nutrition, there's so many moving parts. There's so much to explain, so much to talk about, so many different scientific laws and principles and blah, blah, blah. And I've always been a if it fits your macros, flexible dieter, That's what I've always done. It's always worked for me. And because I've done it for so long, the whole tracking food thing it's easy because it takes, 4 minutes a day to track my shit. So we're talking 100 minutes a month to keep myself in check nutritionally. And I just think that's a no-brainer. So trying to distill what I know down into teachable concepts for somebody who might not have done this it's difficult because I don't really know where to start, because I always hate talking about shit like this because it makes me seem like I'm just King Tut and arrogant, and I don't know what it's like to be poor kind of thing. But I've done this for 11 years now, and so when I think about the things that I wanted to learn or I didn't know how to do when I first started 11 years ago, it's kind of foggy, you know? Because there's certain foods I can just name off the macronutrient profile immediately. I mean, like, for example, my cousin, so my aunt, she cooked up some of this ham-fried rice, chicken meal preps, whatever. She made some extra, so she sent her son, my cousin, Jake, into work, because we work together, if you're a new listener. And I had that for lunch last week, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, whatever. And I looked, he handed me the meal prep, and my first thought was 6 ounces chicken, a cup and a half of rice. I just looked at it. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And he says, yeah, so in case you want to track the macros, it's about 6 ounces of chicken and a cup and a half of rice. And I was like, dude, I actually knew that. That's crazy. And that's just a little example of like just the repetition that you get from seeing food and whatever. I mean, like certain foods like peanut butter or certain brands of protein powder or protein bars, or how many carbs, you know, like for example, pasta, you know, you got 42 grams of carbs, 7 grams of protein, I don't know, like 1.5 grams of fat per 2 ounce raw pasta. You cook that, it goes to 4 ounces. That 2 ounces raw becomes 4 ounces cooked. Macros are still the same. So if you want 84 carbs, 14 protein, 3 fat, you go 8 ounces cooked, you know, just shit like that. I just know off the back of my head, you know what I mean? So things like that, I just forget that, not that I don't forget, I don't consider that that's something that I should, I don't know. I actually don't even know what I'm trying to say with that. But anyway, that's not even what I was wanting to talk about. I'm making this form, this check-in form. So it shows where they're at, where they can be at what date, depending on how strict they want to be with their plan. Because like I've said, I think that progress is progress no matter what. So progress, regardless of increment, speed, size, or whatever the hell else I said, is still progress. So even if somebody loses 0.1 pounds per week, they're still making progress in the right direction. I would hope that someone desires to kick ass faster and get to their goals faster. But at the end of the day, you're still headed in the right direction. You just might not be going as fast. Other thing I used to say early on in the show is that shitty plays can still score points. So even if you don't have the greatest drawn up play and you execute it poorly, you can still score points, probably harder. It can still be done. It's not pretty. It's probably a lot uglier, but you can still score. So that's that. So I've got this sheet. It says their name, their starting weight, so their day one starting weight, and then their goal weight. And below that is the check-in review date, which is the day that I go over this form with them in a Loom video. If you don't know what a Loom video is, it's pretty much a screen recording with me in the top right corner video so they can see me, so it's more personal. And I'm going over their plan live. They can watch in real time or they can watch the recording, whatever they want. And then we got the plan takes effect on whatever day, so the next day. And then here's your stats based on the first form you filled out. So it's got their height, weight, age, activity level. And then I've just got estimations. So for example, so Richard Jefferson, just a random ass name, right? And little behind the scenes, I put Richard Jefferson in there because it's a long ass name. And I want to just see how much space I needed for somebody who had a long name. So that's the reason why I did that. Fun fact. So Richard Jefferson is 230 pounds. His goal is 200 pounds. So I've got a strong adherence at 1.2 pounds lost per week, a mediocre adherence at 0.4 pounds per week, and then a shitty adherence. That's literally what it says. 0.1 pounds lost per week. And it has the oh my hell, I got to recalculate this. That's so fucking frustrating, bro. I got to fix the goddamn sheet. It's broken. More shit to do, dude. So anyway, it will show them. So this guy's 230 pounds. If he loses 1.2 pounds per week, which is the strong adherence, there's a column. It's all green. It's looking nice. He can expect to lose 12.2 pounds in 12 weeks. So whatever, and it has all the way down. So it goes down to 30 weeks, I believe. It's just aesthetically, 30 weeks looks nice with everything else lined up on the sheet here. I'm not going to cover everything in the sheet because it is a lot, and I want to keep this shorter because I want to eat, and I'm going to talk about one more thing. I got to write that down. Hold on before I forget. Okay, got it. But anyway, it's got the week estimation. So this guy's 230, wants to get 200. If he follows the shitty weeks adherence plan, which is 0.1 pounds lost per week, which is still progress. You're still going in the right direction. You're going slow as fuck, my boy, but you're going in the right direction. It would take him 290 weeks to get to his goal. And I put that first so that the client can see that and say, oh, hell no, I'm not taking 290 weeks. And then next to that, we have the mediocre adherence, which is 0.4 pounds per week. So it's going to take Richard Jefferson 73 weeks to get to their goal if they are wishy-washy, half-assed and everything. Still making progress, still headed in the right direction, but you're going slow as fuck. And you have the strong adherence, which is 1.2 pounds lost per week, which would take them 24 weeks to get to their goal from 230 to 200. And I put it in that order so that they could see if they're not following the plan, it's going to take them over 5 years to hit their goal. If they're following the plan kind of here and there, it's going to take them over a year. But if they follow the plan with strong adherence and they do the goddamn thing, they can expect to see results. You know, this is, I don't know how to phrase it, but it's not a guarantee. It's just based on these numbers, you can expect if you're strong adherence, blah, blah, blah. And I'll probably have to define what strong adherence is for legality purposes so I don't get sued. Like, well, you said I could, you know, I don't know. I don't know how much of that I need to worry about, but better safe than sorry. So, but yeah, it'll only take them 24 weeks. So, you know, what is that? 5.5 months? That's a good fucking deal, man. And it's cool because I see the 73 weeks and I'm like, oh my hell no. A year and a half, no. Yeah, I'll get this shit in the next 5.5 months. Yeah, let's go for that. And then all of a sudden, 5.5 months doesn't seem like that long because I just showed them that if they're shitty about it, it's going to take them 5.5 years. If they're wishy-washy about it, it's going to take them over a year. So when I present the 5.5 month thing, it's like, oh yeah, only 5.5 months, dude, easy, you know. Shit, if I'm talking about my 5 year plan, and all you hear is 5 years, you know, 290 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, 24 weeks, yeah, 5.5 months. It's like, dude, that seems so short. So that's kind of a little psychology trick, you know, the price anchoring thing, but this is with the weight or the weeks until they hit their goal, depending on how strict they want to be. So there's that. It's got their current weight, how much weight they have left to hit the goal, and then kind of their stats. So these stats suggest that your basal metabolic rate is approximately 1,880 calories, and your total daily, thermal daily. Oh wow, I'm embarrassing myself live on the show right now. Total daily energy expenditure. Holy shit, dude. I was thinking of TEF, which is thermal effect on food. That's what I was thinking of. TEF, T-E-F. TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. Yeah, I clearly don't know what the fuck I'm talking about if I didn't even know what that was. Wow, so I'm about to coach people. That's great. That's awesome. Keeping it real here. So that's that. Got a whole sheet here, and then I've got with the other check-in form their percentage of the week based on how much they did, how much they didn't do, being consistent with all the different tasks that are medals that people earn. So we've got the purge, the oath, the crucible, and the rigor. Those 4 things are just the mental toughness tasks. Those things you can prestige, progress every month. And you have the workouts, nutrition, water, sleep, all that other stuff, and you can earn those as well. But anyway, those percentages from the form come to this form, and I go over that with the client, with the video that I send them. So it's got their daily percentage. So whatever their, this would have to be average. Let's write that so I don't forget. So I got their daily percentage average. So let's say they had a good week. They lost a pound. I can look at their daily percentage, but okay, so it seems like if they do it 4 weeks in a row and their average is like 84% and they lose average about a pound a week, I can then draw the conclusion and help them understand that their current lifestyle, what they're actively doing now, is giving them this rating, this 84% rating. And it seems like, based on the last 4 weeks, that when you score 84%, you actively lose 1 pound. So your current lifestyle right now at 84%, whatever that is for you, you need to keep that up or do better if you want to keep the same rate of weight loss per week or increase it. And that's a visual that I've created and that I'm going to put on here. And it has all 52 weeks. And it's got a little checkoff thing at the very bottom. It's pretty cool. It's all gradient colored because Google Sheets is the shit. It's pretty cool. But it just serves as a visual so that they can see where they're at and what they can expect to, just have projections. So it's like, okay, the last 6 weeks, this is my average percentage. This is how much weight I've lost on average. If I keep that up, I can expect to lose this much because the last 6 weeks have proven that's what it is. It's just a visual. It just helps. Not to mention, it shows all 52 weeks. And if a client signs up for just 3 months, there is some kind of, damn, I'm not going to finish the full thing. I'm only going to do 3 months. I kind of want to re-sign. Don't know how much of that is true. That's honestly just theory and me thinking out loud. But it's there and it looks nice. So, hell yeah. At the bottom, we've got the checkoff thing. So it's cool. And I've got a lot of other things on here that I'm looking to make. I'm going to have their macros so I'm going to send this to them every single time every week. So they send me a check-in form, they fill out that thing, and then I go into this. Oh, I'm so sorry. All this comes from the daily check-ins. The weekly check-in is not. The weekly check-in is me going over this with them when they fill out a different form with photos, measurements, stuff like that. I'll have to incorporate that in here. But for now, I'm just making this. But yeah, the other things that we'll have will be the macros for this new plan. So if they plateau a little bit, I can adjust their macros, whatever, and have the different kind of splits for the meals. So if somebody wants to only eat 3 meals a day, or maybe they're doing intermittent fasting and they only have time for 3 meals a day, it'll show them how many protein, carbs, fats they need to get per meal to hit their goal. When you break it down, it's much easier to adhere to because you know what your goals are and what you're trying to hit, as opposed to being like, well, I just need a shit ton of everything, so I'll just eat whatever. And then you get to the end of the day and it's like, dude, I need 1 gram of fat, 300 grams of protein, and 4 carbs. So I guess it's egg white city for me tonight. You can avoid that if you have kind of a plan, you know what you're doing. So the goal is to break the things out by the amount of meals that they want to eat. I also want to color code it so it's aesthetically pleasing, because I'd like the person who's looking over this thing to be like, oh, this is nice, kind of thing, So we got 3 meals, 4 meals, 5 meals, 6 meals, 7 meals, 8 meals. And that's for the macros. I'm not really sure what else I would add there. And then below that, we have the medals and awards progression. And you can, an easy way for me to explain it is you have the title of whatever the category is. So for example, workouts. You don't miss one single workout for a month. You get rank 1. I can check that off. And then you can see your ranks go down. Your ranks go up, I should say, from rank 1 to 12, 1 per month. So we have the workouts, nutrition, the purge, the oath, the rigor, and the crucible. Right there, ranks 1 through 12. And yeah, so the other things that I might include in there would be like preparation, like we prepared today. Sleep, how much sleep did you get? Water, how much water did you drink? And I don't know how to do that because that's, just different ways of measuring. But there's a lot of things I want to do. And the reason why I shared all of this check-in form is because that's what I've been working on today. Because training is completed and I need to work on the nutrition side of things. And this is part of the weekly check-in, which focuses heavily on nutrition and the results that they can expect based on their nutrition. You got the macros and the macro splits and how many meals and how many calories, blah, blah, blah. That is what I've been working on. Because I think when I know the structure of what I'm helping the client with, like actually exactly what I'm helping them with, I think that'll help me, I guess, keep moving forward with making the nutrition side of things. Because where is it? I've got a whole document that I started during phase 3, and I just wrote about my program as if it was one big long introduction document, but I just wrote everything out. So you got my philosophy, program introduction, mental toughness tasks, carb cycling, macro splits, program and training, cardio, the mental system, check-ins, referrals, your first steps, taking progress photos, body measurements, apps and downloads, shortcuts, reminders, pricing structure, goals and progression, mindset training, onboarding process, email after they sign up, email too after all the shit. And with the, where is it, nutrition, click on nutrition, I literally started off with blah, blah, blah. And then I cover 3 different strategies of tracking macronutrients. And then you go down and gives practical examples. Then we have a carb cycling thing, how to switch up your nutrition so you can have higher carbs on other days and still live the life that you're currently living. Blah, blah, blah. Go down. Keep going down. Yeah, so I've got a little bit on nutrition already. But the goal is to make training videos and live recordings of me actively tracking my macros and trying to find foods in different scenarios so I can help somebody. So the idea is to have a nutrition folder and maybe have 10 videos in there to start. One is tracking food at a restaurant, or pre-tracking, which is what I do, which is I pretty much track what I'm going to eat for the day in the morning. So I write down, I track everything that I'm pretty sure that I'm going to eat in the morning. And then I just follow the meal plan that I pretty much made for myself. So if I know I have chicken and rice at home, I'll log that first thing in the morning. And then if I know I'm going to have yogurt and 3 cheese sticks for lunch, and also a Flexpro meal prep and a Built Bar and an apple and an orange. And then later for dinner, I'm going to have, a ham sandwich and chips or whatever. And then I'm also going to have double scoop of protein. I'll log all of that. And that way it's logged. I know that I have a perfect fit for my macros, and then I don't have to worry about tracking or figuring out what fits or what doesn't. I just don't eat anything else. I just eat whatever the fuck I wrote down, and then I'm good. And that's been, for me, that's the easiest one to adhere to. Then you have things where if you eat the same thing every day for a full week, maybe you meal prep everything, then you have to track once a week. You're fine. It's even less. You just track, 10 minutes one day. Put it in for all 7 days and you're done. And then you have the obviously tracking as you go, which I don't recommend. It's just so tedious. I think that's why people don't like it. Like tracking macros, because it's like, I always have to have my phone out, which is such a funny argument, because the same people who say that watch Netflix every day, 2 episodes, 3 episodes. It's 2 hours right there. That's not obsessive. That's not whatever. So that's that. And I'd like to have different videos explaining different things with nutrition, because that's what I know to be extremely effective. That's what's gotten me the results that I have gotten. And I'm not going to go and say, yeah, you got to do keto because blah, blah. I don't know shit about keto personally. I've never done it myself. Can't tell you what it's like personally. I can only tell you stories and tell you what the research says. But every diet works the same exact way. It puts you in a caloric deficit. So whatever works for you, let's do it. So anyway, one more thing, 2 more things actually. These shows are a lot longer, I realize, when I have organization, kind of, when I know what I'm going to talk about. Whatever. So I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to keep these next 2 short as shit. So I'm trying to learn Italian. And I was talking with Lexi, and I was like, how sick would it be if we went to Italy next year and I was able to speak Italian to those fucking people, and we could just order some nice food or whatever? How cool would it be to go to the Lamborghini museum or factory or whatever and just be talking Italian with the people who have created my dream car, It'd be sick as hell. So now the goal for real is to go to Italy next year, 2025, and be, I don't know if I can say fluent, but have some knowledge to hold basic conversations in Italian. And I'm actually pretty fucking hyped about this and the reason why I know I am is because I have been practicing a lot. I don't know shit, but I've been practicing a lot. Like, I know my numbers, I know my ABCs, I know days of the week, I know random words like mundo, that means world. Moda, that's fashion. And we have that concludes my knowledge on Italian. But I'm just trying to learn it, man. I think it'd be so sick. I've always wanted to be bilingual, but I've always tried to do it with Spanish. And I think I don't have an interest in Spanish, because cool, Spanish, right on. Everybody, if you're bilingual in the USA, it's probably Spanish. And I think that's cool. And that is practical, but I would like to be a little bit different and learn a different language. But to my whatever I'm trying to say, discovery, whatever it is, dude. I've realized that Italian is like Spanish. There's a lot of words that are very similar. There's a lot of words that are the exact same sound, but they're spelled different, so that's interesting. But anyway, I'm trying to learn Italian so that I can take Lexi and I to Italy next year and go to the Lamborghini Museum and order some spaghetti in Italian and just be a fucking baller. And it's kind of cool because that's a double goal, a double-edged sword goal. I don't know what you want to call it, a twofer. Because Italy from the U.S. is not cheap. You got to fly. It's like $1,400 for a round-trip ticket. That's a lot of money that your boy does not have. And I would like to be able to pay for her flight too. And then whatever. So I got big goals for that. That'd be cool to have the coaching, all of this launch to where I'm making some kind of like $2, $3, $4, $5 a month extra, so that a trip to Italy is well within the budget. So it's cool to say, it's cool as fuck to say out loud. But that's the goal. So I want to learn Italian. I want to go to Italy and visit the Lamborghini Museum and factory, auto, whatever. Just want to see some fucking Lambos, dude. I've probably seen 12 Lamborghinis in my whole life, in person. You know how many Hondas I've seen? Add 300 zeros to what I just said. So anyway, that's that. One more thing and then I'm peacing the fuck out because I really got to go. Did not mean for this to go so long. Yeah, so I'm just not organized schedulally. And also my phone, because I messed up my whole phone's layout while I was at I was getting my oil changed yesterday. Because I'm trying to get this calendar app going, right? Motion. I'm trying to get that shit rolling because I think it'd be beneficial for me. And I messed up my whole phone screen's layout with all the apps where everything's at, all the folders. So trying to find everything is a nightmare. And I'm just trying to be organized. I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm trying to have everything nice. And it has not been that way, so it's got me frustrated as fuck. So it's 7:45. What I'm going to do is finish. Damn, dude, I fucked up. Didn't even think about that. Supposed to stop eating at 7, but I'm eating dinner right now. 7:45 p.m. Yeah, it's Wednesday, September 4th, 7:45 p.m. 2024. So now my feeding window does not start till 12. Dude, I fucked up. God damn it. Oh well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is finish the show, write about it, upload it, whatever. I'm going to time that and see how long it takes me to do that. And then I'm going to go lay in bed, and I'm going to organize my phone. I'm going to make sure everything's nice before I go to bed. On tomorrow, I think I have a chill day tomorrow. I think we're doing some shit that takes an hour, and then I'm done for the day. So whatever. I'm going to get my calendar loaded up, ready, scheduled, nice, organized. Because I found out that I can use it at work. So that's awesome. So anyway, that's the show. So quick recap. We have my little conspiracy theory about retirement and all that shit. And the government and cancerous materials and substances and whatever. And then we've got going to take 2 long tasks and setting a timer and how that's helpful for me. And then we have time after work is limited and how I kind of get annoyed, frustrated, whatever, overwhelmed with all the things that I can do but need to stay focused on. I want to learn Italian, go to Italy with Lexi and see the Lamborghini museum shop, whatever, and order some Italian food in Italian and just speak the language in the country. That would be so sick. I think it'd be cool to try to learn a new language every year. Not fluently by any means, because you can't become fluent, absolutely 100% fluent in a year. Maybe you can, but with only a half hour, a day, if that. I don't know how much fluency you're getting. You probably have very basic conversations. But it'd be cool to have that kind of knowledge in a language enough so that you could visit their country and just speak it speak the native tongue in the land of wherever they're at. So the land of the Italians. Anyway, so we talked about the client check-in form and the Loom video and what that would be like every week for the client. I'm just trying to make that nice, organized, and packed with information that the client would need and whatever to find to have the most success. Because this is the other thing. I'm going on a little tangent here, but I know the next guy's not doing this. I know that he's not. I know that the next coach, the next trainer, or whatever, is not putting this much effort, this much detail into their weekly check-ins. They'll probably do what I used to do, because I was a lazy fuck in the past. I just had people fill out a weekly check-in form. I would rarely even go over it. I would rarely even see it. And I would just look at their weight. I'm like, okay, yeah, they lost weight, so they're good. We'll move on. So shitty, dude. That's such a horrible thing. And I know that 99 of the next 100 people are doing that. And that 100th guy is me every time. So anyway, I just know that the detail and the effort that I'm putting in now will not be for nothing. I know it will pay off. I'm very stoked about that. So anyway, and then we talked about the organization, my phone and my calendar, and anyway, that is the show. That's the show. Thanks for listening. That's 321, episode 321, September 4th, Wednesday, 2024, 7:48 p.m. I'm out of here. Peace out.